Alrighty, well, everybody, greetings, salutations, and welcome back to the Motonobodies podcast. This is season 2, episode 5, otherwise known as the State of the Podcast Address. Tonight with me, I do have, of course, John the Million Mile Miracle. John, how you doing? John,
Yes.
how you doing tonight?
You need to restart.
I'm not restarting.
Okay.
What was wrong with that?
Nah, I didn't have the record button going.
State of the failure.
State of the failure address
And
going
so
on.
it begins.
All right, well,
Now it's recording, so you're going to have a little bit. So unless you want to restart it, your choice.
all right. Well, greetings, salutations, everybody. Welcome back to the Motonobodies podcast. I'm, of course, one of your hosts, Bacon, and this is season 2, episode 5, otherwise known as the State of the Podcast Address. With me, I do have John, the Million Mile Miracle. John, how you doing?
I am doing well, Bacon. Having a great evening now since I got shit going.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad you got shit going.
Yeah.
And, it's been a little minute.
Is this going to work? Let me see something. Hang on.
Well, while you do that, no, I don't hear anything. While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start introducing our other guests. Well, as of last week, we also are including just John, otherwise known as JJ to everyone else in case, while we're talking.
Hello.
How you doing tonight, man?
Doing well.
Good. You have a good day, sir? Good week?
Pretty basic, yeah.
Oh, so you had a basic week. All right.
Basic week.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Also with us, we do have back in the studio, Reggie with 2 G's.
How you doing, Bacon?
Oh, doing wonderful. I'm actually doing even better since I just saw you.
Oh yeah, don't. Geez, you got to give away the plot already.
Yes.
You found he actually a human being?
Yes, I actually did find out that he is a human being.
I actually exist.
And actually, if you go onto my Instagram, you can actually see a picture of him with me and my wife.
That's not me.
That's a robot me.
I don't know who that is.
You just hired to look alike. We all know
Yeah.
the truth.
He says look-alike. I just say it's his stunt double.
Well, I got to say one thing about meeting you, Bacon.
What was that? Other than my dad's shoes.
Other than your dad's shoes, you do not look as tall as you seem to look on your Dana.
On my Dana. Well, I can't help that. Of course, towards the end of the night, you did realize how tall I am.
No, that was the alcohol talking.
So tell us about these dad shoes. I'm curious.
I have some Skechers, some basic Skechers.
Ah.
Yeah, he was rocking them all over the park. He looked like a dad without a kid.
That's
I really
scary,
did.
actually.
I really did. I had the whole.
And you said he was at a park?
Yeah, I was
Disney
at
park.
the Islands of Adventure at Universal.
Let's put it this way: the way he was dressed with no kid around him, if I had a son, I would be holding him very close to me.
That's okay. I got to do what I can to feel like you, Reggie.
Bacon's vacation mode is the creep factor.
Creep factor 500. But if we made it more like, I guess like Dragon Ball Z, I could just charge up, and all of a sudden, there come the short jean shorts.
Yeah, that's all you were missing were some jorts.
But I did have the cargo shorts.
And the crop top.
No crop top.
And you did fit in Margaritaville.
I fit in Margaritaville perfectly.
Yes, you did.
See, that's part of my plan, you see. I make sure that people don't really notice me so well. Hide from my, 2 or 3 fans that might be out there.
That's why I keep telling you the picture of me is not me. I mean, that's not me in that picture.
Because you're hiding.
So who is it?
I don't know who that is. I just
Stunt
met some
double.
other random dude and was like, Reggie.
Dude was like, oh,
Did
okay, you're going to buy
Bacon
me
just-
drinks and food.
Bacon just walked around going, "Who's Reggie? Raise your hand. Took a picture with you."
Pretty much. That's exactly what I did. I'll tell you what. The night before, when we went to Capones, that was a fun night.
Hey, what's Capones?
It's a dinner theater.
Is it like a mob themed dinner theater?
Yeah. It's a Capones is mob theme, of course. Supposed to be owned by Al Capone, kind of thing. It was really fun. I had never been to a dinner theater before that.
What kind of food did they serve?
Most of it was pasta and pizza. They had like a veggie bar on the side, but then they also had like a roast that they'd cut for you and stuff. So it was pretty neat. I enjoyed it a lot.
Was this your first trip to Florida?
No, I've been to Florida a couple other times.
Would you go again?
Maybe. I mean, my wife's family's down there. So, yeah. And I think, honestly, on vacation, if we had just more time to actually go to the islands of adventure for at least 2 or 3 days, then it'd actually be worth paying those prices that we paid. But in all honesty, we paid, what was it? It was $120 a person, and we rode 2 rides.
Ooh, got your value out of that.
Yeah.
$60 per ride.
And I guess
Yes.
you were there last week, right?
It was this weekend.
This weekend. So you were just missed bike week in Daytona then.
Yeah, missed that, but our luck, Pitbull was playing at Universal that night. So
Mr. 305.
Huh?
Mr. 305.
Yo.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go see him?
No, we didn't go see him.
No.
You know we didn't go see him.
I think
we all left the park together, dumbass.
Maybe you guys went back after I left.
Oh no. We had to catch a flight in the morning.
Miss Bacon seemed very interested in seeing Mr. 305.
Yeah, closet Pitbull van.
Oh yeah.
He waited until you left and then snuck in.
There's nothing wrong with Pitbull. You can admit you like him. It's okay.
You got to do what you got to do to go see that, that Puerto Rican man love.
I thought he was Cuban.
I thought he was Puerto Rican.
No, he's Cuban.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't know. That's how much I pay attention. Either way. Oh. So, Miracle, what are you doing over there?
Listen to y'all chat about Florida, and I was down there 2 weekends ago.
I know. That's what I was just about to ask you about.
I ended up at Daytona Bike Week for a few hours.
Oh, a couple hours. Okay.
Yeah, I went to the Speedway, which is, I guess it was more. Now, I didn't go to the rowdy part, and John probably can tell me that the rowdy part's at nighttime and not where I was at, but I was pretty impressed that they had the Speedway with everything right there, and it was not, it wasn't a bad event.
So what was going on at the Speedway, really?
Well, that's where all the vendors were, and all the demo bikes and all the demo trucks were hanging out at.
Okay. I think it's a great thing about Daytona compared to a lot of cities that put on rallies, is that it really stretches far, and all the neighboring towns and communities kind of get involved in it for a piece of the pie. So you can even go all the way down to Orlando, and they're having bike events at the same time.
Yeah, we actually at the end we ended up at Ace's Cafe. I wasn't planning on that, but we ended up there as well. We ran into another YouTuber. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen her, but Miami Merch.
No.
Nope. All right. Well, we ran into her.
Well,
Ace Cafe is a pretty cool spot, isn't it, John?
I was only in the parking lot, and it was pretty neat. They had the all those stunters out and about, running down the streets of Orlando. So we were at the red light, and all the stunt bikes came. There was a big pack of people doing stunts, and I don't know, there had to be a couple hundred people.
Were they stunting on Harleys or sport bikes?
Sport bikes, dirt bikes, super motors, Groms. You know, I didn't see no Harleys.
All the usual stuff.
But we did see a Orlando PD decide that he wanted to shut down I-4 for a minute. Comes out and starts doing figure eights in the middle of the interstate to stop traffic.
Wait.
Just for fun?
The officers decided to do that?
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden we come up, and all of a sudden an motor PD guy came out, started stopping traffic, started doing figure eights in the middle of the I-4, and we didn't know what's happening, so we kind of helped him out to stop him, to help stop the traffic.
Nice.
And
you do figure eights as well?
No, we weren't doing that. We just kind of like got in front of cars to just help them stop them, and because they kept going, it's like, okay, well, we're going to help stop them, and then we start to get off the exit, and he's like, stops us, but we come to find out there was like 2 buses that were getting on the interstate. So I guess, and they were escorts. So I'm not sure if there was some type of concert or some type of sporting event that they needed to get these buses. Yeah.
Or they're just really slow buses.
I was going to say, normally they don't stop an interstate for buses to get on.
Well, I'm not sure who it was, but there was somebody that had a police escort, and they wanted them shut down.
Could have been the governor, the president, or the vice president. The vice president comes down to Florida a lot.
It's most likely Al Gore.
No, they wouldn't shut it down for him.
Al Gore wouldn't ride in the bus.
Of course he would.
No, he wouldn't.
He'd be driving the Prius.
Yes.
No.
Minimizing his carbon footprint.
That's actually BS because he takes jet planes everywhere. Personal jet planes.
Yeah, but he plants a tree every time he takes off to offset the carbon footprint it creates.
Right. That's what he does. So anyway, speaking of presidents and vice presidents and presidential hopefuls and all that good stuff, this is the State of the Podcast address. And as you would guess, been kind of wanting to retool the show a little bit. I really wanted to do this more at the beginning, but it's just really kind of hard when you're trying to get people together to do the podcast in the first place. So since this is going to be kind of our core group right now, since Amped is not currently available with his family and work schedules and stuff like that, just wanted to kind of throw down some ideas of where we'd like to try and get the podcast to, how to do it, and the best platforms and ways to do it. Kind of make sense?
Yep.
Sure does.
So basically, direction for the show. My idea, feel free to throw in your own ideas after and whatnot, and we can discuss. I don't want to sit here and talk about just motorcycles. Now, can we talk about motorcycle-related topics? Of course. Do I want to get people that ride motorcycles on? Yes. But I want to talk more about just basic daily things. So just kind of like how we were just talking about normal basic stuff. But it could be political, it could be social, it could be anything in your mind, in your heart, something that you want to talk about. But like from a biker's perspective. Right? Because we're all different sorts of people. There's men, women, there's conservatives, liberals, all sorts of different people. And I'd actually like to I'd like to try and see about getting some of our listeners onto the podcast.
I think that would be great.
Works for me.
Man, you guys are bad at discussing.
Well, we'll
I didn't know I surrounded
discuss
myself with-
everything. I just thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, you just pretty much you should have asked us what we wanted to do with the show.
Well, I'm saying that's what my idea is. Now, you guys can have your own ideas of where you like of things that you like about the current podcast, things that you don't like, all that.
Well, are we gonna have topics? Are we gonna have things to talk about? Are we gonna do like not show prep, but at least come in here with an idea of what we're talking about? Or are we just gonna show up and spitball stuff?
It's definitely going to be it's going to definitely start off topic oriented is what I'm looking at. Because it's a little too hard like last week. Well, I'm sorry, not last week, but last episode with John. Like we didn't really have that topic until what? It was like midway through, right? And yeah, we were learning about John, and that was a great thing. But after we brought up the topic that you brought up, Reggie, by the way.
Which topic did I bring up? I haven't listened to the podcast for some reason. It just got released.
Slacker.
Bacon.
Yeah, you know what? I had a lot of stuff going on, and I'll go into that here in a little bit. But the topic was what was it? Other scenes and I guess hobbies that were like motorcycle. That was like riding motorcycles or being a biker.
I came up with that?
Yeah, you came up with that. So
okay, I guess I did.
That was on your head.
Great topic, Reggie.
Yeah.
Thank you. So great. I don't even remember coming up with it.
Either way, it just kind of, it stalled out a little bit, So of course we're going to need topics, and everyone will need to know those topics ahead of time. But I definitely want to get other people that are listeners on here.
Well, I got an idea we could do. We should have like segments. Like we should have a segment when we get done with our main topic where we kind of go, how can I say it? Like a U-turn.
But we are not loud pipes. I love loud pipes. I love loud pipes. I love Motorcycle Men, Throttled podcasts, all these Girl on a Moto. There's so many creative writing. There's a lot of really great motorcycle podcasts out there.
Right. Yeah.
And I would put it this way. You have to make your podcast your own. Do not follow what others are doing, thinking that's the best. You need to set yourself up as a different type of podcast. I think, and Bacon, you're hitting it. I'm not trying to. You want a discussion, so here I go.
No. Keep going. Keep going, please.
That you need to come up. We need to come up with our own way, our own thing. Don't just make it motorcycles, because, in my opinion, is we all consider a web page. We can talk about what's on a web page. You got to do something different, some different thing. Let's not just make it all motorcycle. Something that's interesting, something that people want to hear about. If you expand, and I'll go with this, and I'll go with the City Unions of podcasting and motorcycle podcasting. The number one thing is, what's your goal? Are you trying to grow it? You're just doing it for fun. If you're trying to grow it, then podcasting is really hard for many reasons in the motorcycle community, in my book. Number one, how many people have you ever gone up to somebody and says, "Hey, do you listen to podcasts?" What's a podcast?
Oh yeah.
Number two, and then you go, so that's number one. So you got to find people that ride motorcycles. Number two, that listen to podcasts. That's a small market. So
exactly.
If you expand it like you're going here, I think where you're going, if you expand it to, let's say we talk about gaming, because I know, John, you're into gaming. So talk about some games you're playing. You could do a gaming review. There we go. cars. Reggie, you do landscaping. You can talk about landscaping, Reggie.
Oh, I doubt he wants to talk about
Dude,
that.
I got to tell you about this grass. It grew a whole half inch in a week. You will not believe
what?
Speaking of grass, Reggie, since you're the resident expert on that stuff, is it a bad time of the year to plant fescue?
Fescue.
Mind you, he's in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
To answer your question, John, yes.
No, it's not a bad time. It's never a bad time to plant fescue.
Tall fescue? Yes, it is. North Carolina. What's doing in the fall?
Yeah, generally you want to do your overseeding and stuff in the fall for fescue.
Well, I'm a little late at that.
Maybe.
I mean, if you put it down now, it wouldn't. As long as you don't get a freeze, I don't think it'd be a problem.
If you aerate, you should be good too.
In the fall here, it was freezing, so I couldn't even plant then.
Then I would say, as long as you believe that there isn't going to be a crazy freeze, no, I would do it. I would do it now in the early spring.
So I know here in North Carolina, talk about what I have done, or I do, or get people to. It's usually late September, early October. Usually September is when we do it, and you overseed or aerate, overseed it, and then you let it go in. If you do it in the summertime, like now, it's not going to have enough time to germinate and get the roots down deep enough, and the grass is going to die.
It's going to die.
Now, the question is that the only type of grass you're allowed to grow in your community?
That's in the backyard. My HOA doesn't care as long as you can't see it.
So in other words, I would go get, if you want something different, tall fescue takes, and I'm not trying to be Reggie's supposed to be the residential, landscaping guy. I would look at something other than tall fescue, something that doesn't require so much maintenance, because every year you have to oversee tall fescue.
Well, my goal is I don't get a whole lot of sun in the back, so I was trying to plant something that would be a little more resilient. And everything I read and people I talked to said to plant fescue.
Okay. The other option is,
and it's not a huge backyard, so overseeding would be like half a bag.
Yeah, it would take me all of 5 minutes to sprinkle a little seed all over the backyard.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll be okay. Maybe I'm wrong. But you want a better way to fix it so you don't do it? Go get artificial grass and put down. Then you won't have to worry about any of it.
Yeah, I don't know how well that'll go with a Pitbull.
You want to worry about mowing grass?
Just lay down that AstroTurf, John.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so you got that figured out that you're going to start overseeding here like tomorrow?
Probably not tomorrow. I'll probably do it this weekend.
Yeah. Now, do you have any grass back there currently at all?
Nope.
So it's all done. I'll give you my other kicker. Go get a slit cedar.
Go get a what?
Slit cedar.
Slit cedar?
Yeah, Reggie, you know what that is, right?
Yeah, of course. It's called
a slit cedar.
Yes.
More or less to make slits in the ground, and it kind of goes into it better.
The basic idea is that you get the seeds down in so that the birds don't get them.
But me personally, my experience with fescue, I only had one season with it when I lived in Tennessee, so I don't really know when's the best time to plant new fescue. I just know when I was aerating and overseeding, we were doing it in the fall.
Okay.
For the ground got hard.
Yeah,
but do make sure that you aerate first.
Yeah, you definitely want to aerate.
Aerate or slit seed it, or both.
And you can rent an aerator from a rental place. They're really small.
Yeah, Home Depot rents them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad.
I mean, I did my yard a couple years ago. I was longer. I think I rented it for like 2 hours, and I had like it done in like an hour, and I have a 1/4 acre.
Nice.
So by the time I got it and brought it back, it was less than 2 hours. So.
My backyard's probably the size of some people's bedroom. So.
Oh, geez. All right. Yeah.
It's pretty small.
Just take a screwdriver then.
The other thing, the other option you could do is just go get some sod and just throw sod down.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I think I'd rather do seed.
I mean, if your backyard is the size of a bedroom, you may be better off sodding. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
And water's key.
Did you say water ski?
Water's key.
Yeah, you definitely want to put water on it. Where is Oklahoma? Is the ground like clay?
Did you say where is Oklahoma?
I know where it is. It's right above Texas.
Yeah, in central Oklahoma, where I live, the ground is clay.
It's clay. Okay. It's kind of similar to the stuff they have in Knoxville.
It's a red clay.
Red clay. Yeah, so that's all I know about fescue. Well, and that's our U-turn topic for fescue.
Yay!
John, play the motorcycle riding away sound effect.
Unfortunately, sound effects not working through Google Hangouts. I don't know why. I can hear it on my system. I can hear it in my headphones. You guys can't hear it, and I don't know why.
It's a Google product.
Yeah, something's going on. But okay, so that's kind of how I'd like a lot of these to go. You know, you're able to go off on your little side topics and whatever. No, just have that fun. But every now and again we do, you know, of course, you know, you're gonna have to get back on a topic. But either way, just to keep it light and easy, you're gonna have topics, Reggie. But we're not strictly held to those topics. We can, as long as the conversation keeps moving, you know, we don't have to throw in another topic or anything like that. It's just as long as it keeps moving, it can go wherever it wants to.
Okay. Oh, I got something we could talk about.
Well,
I do. This. All right. So my sister is looking for a new car, and she was complaining. She actually likes older cars, and she was complaining, and she said, "You know what? The cars that are coming out today aren't as cool as the older cars." And I started thinking about it, and I kind of tend to agree with her. I don't think the cars or even the motorcycles coming out today are as cool as the older stuff.
Oh no, they've become homogenized.
Yeah, that's what she was complaining. She's like, they're all angular, they're all aggressive looking. She's like, back when they made a sports car back in the day, it looked like a sports car, and the regular car looked like a regular car.
I mean, that's pretty much an argument you could have for any product that has saturated a market, because same applies to cell phones and computers now.
Well, look at it in terms of, I mean, you could look at it in terms of sports teams. You could look at it in terms of movies. You can look at it in a lot of different fashions. What people will do is, hey, this is the big thing. This is what's hitting. We're going to do our version of the same thing.
Right.
And so the market just floods with that.
And then you end up with all these phones that look like iPhones. Like all smartphones look the same pretty much now.
Actually, didn't the HTC come out as the basic same one that it is now today? If I remember correctly, like the first real good touchscreen one was the HTC.
Man, I haven't heard HTC in forever. Does HTC still make cell phones?
I don't know if they do or not.
They do.
They do.
Really?
They might be more popular outside of the United States than they are currently, though.
But that was like the first real version of a smartphone. Well,
I'll give you an example. Like, all right, for cell phones, you had like back in the day, you had the T-Mobile Sidekick. You guys remember that phone?
Yeah.
It had the screen that would spin around. That thing was cool. That thing was cool. It was different. But like between an iPhone and a Samsung Galaxy 10 and a Google Pixel,
it's all about the same.
Yeah, it's about the same. Like I got a new iPhone and I like it. Yeah, it's faster. The battery lasts longer and all that. But I'm just like, eh. But back in the day when I would get a new phone, like it would just be mind-blowingly better than the last one I got. And now, even waiting 3 years from the last one, it's like
they're still not mind-blowingly better.
No.
Yeah, it's like you might get a better battery and maybe a slightly better camera. But the rest of it is all software, you know, like the animojis on the iPhone, just gimmicks.
It's all gimmicks, yeah.
A slight uptick on your RAM.
And then they take out good features like removable battery, headphone jack, which I didn't think I'd miss, but I miss all the time now.
So did you go get your dongle yet?
No, I refuse to dongle.
Dangle your dongle.
But it's the same thing with cars and motorcycles. Like all the super sport bikes, almost all of them look the same. The BMW, the 1000 looks like the ZX10R looks like they all are looking the same.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, there's only so far you can go with design before doing something completely radical. And I'm sure a lot of these manufacturers with cars, with motorcycles, with even gadgets and technology, they're just not willing to take such drastic risk to try to sell a product. It would be disastrous. But then you have Samsung, who is releasing like foldable devices. Well, right. they will be releasing them.
What didn't Hyosung already just come out with one after Samsung said that they were doing it?
Oh, I'm sure. There's several manufacturers. Samsung won't be the first, but they'll be the first of their size to do that. Samsung, it's pretty much in the market of cell phones right now. The two largest are Samsung and Apple.
Yeah.
So, they make a huge impact. They make enough of an impact that they tell the market when they're going to demo a product and have a show. Most manufacturers will go to like CES or things like that to release a product or to demo the product. And you rarely will see Samsung. You never will see Apple at those things.
So just a quick note on Samsung. I actually heard something interesting that I had never heard from anyone else or anyone that like reviews smartphones or anything like that. Was that you never want to purchase the odd numbered galaxies. You only want to purchase the even numbers.
Why is that?
Because apparently all their new features that they're testing out really in like the large market, like when they mass produce it, are on the odd numbers. So they work out all the bugs and then release out the even numbered.
On that topic real quick, if you want to talk about something phone related, let's think about Windows. And you go back to the days of Windows. Okay, so you had
Windows 95 XP. Was the best.
You had XP, which was great. Everybody loved XP, right?
XP was amazing.
And then you came out with ME. Everybody hated ME.
I had ME. ME sucked.
And then what was next? Was it
2000?
2000?
Was it it was 7.
Yep, it went 7, then 8, 9, yep.
Then it went Vista.
Which was horrible if you developed in Java.
And now you're up to, Windows 8 never caught on. No, I'm sorry. It went XP. No, I'm sorry. It went ME 7. No, XP. Damn it.
Come on, you're even in this business.
You can do it, John.
You want to look this up real quick, John?
I'm looking it up.
Okay. All right. Now,
all right, so here we go. So when XP, so you went XP, so it was 2000, XP, Vista, what sucked, 7, which was great, 8 that nobody liked, and now you're at 10. So same thing you're talking about, Bacon, with going odd numbers. Everybody went around about numbers. Every other release. So just add to your conclusion.
Oh, no. And it's true. I think, honestly, everybody has their own way of doing it. So whether it be even numbers, odd numbers, just however they do it.
Hey, here's a little bit of information for you guys. Do you want to know why there wasn't a Windows 9?
Why?
Because all the hacks and software that looked for Windows 98, and things containing 9s, it was a filter. So if they would have come out with Windows 9, then it would have used the wrong drivers for certain things. So they defaulted to 10.
Interesting. Did not know that. Thank you.
Because we had Windows 95 and 98. So if you wanted to target both of them, you would just search for 9. in the version number.
That's interesting. I was going somewhere with what I was saying, and I completely. Oh yeah, this is it. All right. So you guys say after a while, like the designs all become the same, right?
They do.
Agree. Cell phones, video game consoles are like that now, but cars, and in motorcycles, kind of the same. But I can think of, at least in the video game industry and in the motorcycle industry, a brand that makes a motorcycle that doesn't look anything like all the other motorcycles out there.
What motorcycle brand makes a motorcycle that doesn't resemble any other motorcycle?
Can-Am. Think about it. The Spider.
No.
Do you realize that Harley made a reverse trike?
That doesn't count. Harley doesn't count when they make things. They don't exist.
Do you also realize that when you're talking about like all the things looking the same, you have to look in classes, right? So you're looking at cruisers, sport bikes, and all that, right?
Right.
So that's what you're looking at. You can't say, "Oh, well, that cruiser looks like that sport bike," because no,
but I'm just.
I mean, if you go from the point of vehicles that can legally be registered as a motorcycle, that includes a large spectrum of.
It's too wide. It's
bikes.
Too wide a spectrum.
But to say like to see something you've never seen before in that category.
And you know what the closest is that came to like groundbreaking and something crazy? Confederate. Confederate motorcycles actually came out with that with that crazily expensive bike that, you know, looks completely different from anything else as a cruiser. Now, yes, it's all every last bit of it's hand built and everything, but I mean,
it kind of reminds me of like a chopped up V-Rod or something. Confederate bike.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could see how you think that. But I mean, that was like when it came out, everyone was like, "Oh my God, what the crap is that?" Ew. So Mr. Shoop, Dangerous Dave, Dangerous Dave is asking about what about arch motorcycles? They're an interesting design. I mean, isn't it like the frame holds on to the into the rear swing arm?
So use a frame. Okay.
Let's look it up. Let's look it up and we'll screen share it here. So I'll look it up here.
Have you guys ever heard of the Excelsior Henderson?
Yep.
I went to a motorcycle museum last weekend, and they had one that was brand new in the crate that had never been taken out, and it was a 1999 Excelsior Henderson model Super X, and the design of the bike was actually quite interesting. The way it had kind of a Springer front end, but yet the lower part of the front end went through the front fender, and it's a cool looking bike. But the brand, I guess, had originated in the early 1900s.
Yep, sure did.
And then it started back up, I guess, like around 99, and lasted a year, and made something like 2,000 bikes or something, and then shut down. So it's unfortunate, because I think that would have been kind of a neat brand to have. They had some unusual design aspects.
Okay, so do you see what I'm showing here?
Yep.
So here's the arch. So just some examples of arch motorcycles. Oh, that's Triumph. So there's one. There's Keanu.
Yeah, I remember the commercial for this. Then I looked up the price and I was like, good luck with that.
They're insane. They're insanely priced, but, you know, they're all hand built.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, they're more of a, I guess, cafe cruiser. I'm not sure if like you look at the back of the frame right here, all that extra space behind the just behind the motor, it just doesn't look right to me.
It kind of looks like this from 1912. It looks like an updated Henderson. Wait, I'm not screen sharing.
Well, hold on. Let me stop screen sharing here real quick.
All right, can you see this? If you look at the ARC motorcycle and look at this, it looks about the same.
I guess I can see that.
It has the same lines, at least.
Well, I mean, it's a motorcycle, and there's only so much you can do, but like now, if you go to that Indian, wait, go
Which
back
one?
up, go back. There's a green Indian side profile. Like, okay, stop right there.
This one?
Stop. Nope. Okay,
What?
2 pictures up, third from the left.
This one?
Third from the left.
Oh, this one.
There you go. So, you have that basic frame design, right? You see this. You see that. You see almost that straight line on the back of the frame. Motor in the middle. Unfortunately, like Arch does it towards the front, but and of course you're talking advancements in technology and stuff, but it's what it is. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Why hasn't any of the big, is it the big 3 motorcycle manufacturers? Is it 3 of them or 4? Is it 4? It's 4, right?
There's 5.
What's the big 5?
You have Harley Davidson.
Okay.
Indian. I think Indian is still considered in part of the big 5, correct?
See, I would have put maybe Victory there, but I still feel like Indian's still kind of a niche market.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just do this. So, Harley, Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha.
Okay. How come none of those companies have made their version of the Spider and released it and sold it here? Like, why isn't anyone trying to attempt to go after that market? They just kind of left Can-Am to do their own thing there.
They can't.
Why not?
Patents.
Remember the old 3-wheelers?
The 2 in the back, 1 in the front, the Honda 3-wheelers?
Yep. I have information from my cousin in California that said that there are so many legal requirements against death of those vehicles that they are no longer allowed to make a 3-wheel vehicle in the United States.
Honda does? They can't?
Correct.
Harley makes one from the factory, though.
Harley makes one, yes, but they're okay. They didn't make the original 3-wheelers.
So what you're saying is there were so many problems with them that they can't make them now?
Correct. There's some pack agreement they made.
Interesting.
Well, the problems with half of those Honda ones was the wheel size. They were just bouncy as all get out. And then short wheelbase with the trike. Those were bad.
So all 3 of the Japanese manufacturers won't make them, or are not allowed to because Honda screwed around?
Yep.
Well, that doesn't seem fair to the other 2, 3.
Thanks, Honda.
Well, I think they were part of it too. I think they made something as well.
Well, isn't that kind of, I don't know, not fair that you allow the American companies to make one, but not the Japanese companies? Even though most of them have plants and stuff here in the U.S. or assemble bikes here in the U.S.
Well, wasn't it their but they had an agreement between themselves because of all the accidents and stuff on them. That's their own doing.
So it's a gentleman's agreement.
That gentleman.
So they could if they wanted to. There's no like legal
I mean, if you're developing a motorcycle that has a bad history of faults that have maybe led to deaths or something like that, I could see you not wanting to re-enter that market with a model similar.
But I mean, it's 2 in the front, 1 in the back, as opposed to 2 in the back, 1 in the front now.
Whoa, Reggie. This is like a family-oriented podcast here.
Bullshit. This is not family-oriented.
2 in the front, 1 in the back, 1 in the back, 2 in the front. Whatever. Just throw it around wherever you want to put it.
I was just saying, it's just a thought I had. I've been seeing the problem is the motorcycle dealership that's like 3 miles away from my house is a Can-Am dealer, so I'm seeing a lot more of the Spiders and the new ones around, and I'm like, man, those Rikers look pretty nice.
They are a fun machine.
And I was like, why is they're the only company making that style? Because everyone just seems to, do they not sell that much of them?
Can-Am is not a very big seller. I know the number was, they started in like 2008, I think was the first year. And in 2015, they produced their first 100,000. So it took them 7 years to make 100,000 of them. I do note that the Riker, to my understanding, is selling like hotcakes, at least at the dealership here.
It's got to be based on that price point, dude. I've seen so many of them, and I used to rarely see Spiders. I see more of those than I see of the
big ones,
the big ones, or even like the R1s, the new R1s, and the new R6s. I don't think I've even seen a new R6 in person at all on the road, but I've seen a crap ton of those Rikers all over the place.
Yep.
So I wonder with like Harley, the reason that they wouldn't do a reverse trike, maybe because of the air-cooled engine wouldn't get enough air.
They have ways around that actually, because if you look at, there is actually a third-party company that makes a trike kit for Harleys.
A front trike kick?
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't, dude. What is that? What is that? What is it that grill?
Yeah, that's called Motorworks, and they make a tilting Harley that the front end tilts.
Yep.
Oh no.
And it's just not for Harley; it is for other manufacturers.
It's for multiple ones, but
that grill though.
I know. I don't like the grill on it either, but
yeah, black that grill out.
I wonder what kind of design Harley would actually come up with if they were to release a bike like that. I'm sure internally they probably have.
I mean, just picture your bike with a solid front axle and the same fenders with 2 wheels.
So yeah,
I mean that kit. I mean, you go buy a Harley, so you're going to go buy a Street Glide at what, 20,000, and then that kit's going to be another 10,000 on top of it at least.
Yeah.
Oh look, looks like there's a whole group of them.
Of course, it's the same person that's photoshopped.
But the back part is, I hate the front end nose of that thing. It looks.
Dude, I'd rip that off.
It's really weird how that front end looks.
It kind of looks like, when the first Teslas came out and they gave them like those fake front grills. They didn't need them. That's what it kind of looks like.
I get that.
Like it's like, what is that?
Let's see if I find. There was a couple others that I had seen.
I'm curious to see.
Look, they made a Harley into a quad.
Oh man.
Right there.
My God, a Road Glide quad.
John, that's all you.
No.
I'm curious to see what Can-Am does with the Riker at that price point. I wonder if they're going to end up selling a lot more, a lot quicker than they did with the first generations of the Spiders. All right, this is kind of obnoxious here.
Oh my God, John.
Whoa.
That's fugly.
It's off-putting. It looks like a Hot Wheels toy.
It really does.
It's those rims. Why is Reggie the only screen I see? Oh, am I still screen sharing?
You might have been trying to. So
You might have. If you clicked on my name, it would do that.
So there we go. Oh man, Sean, I challenge you. I challenge you to do that to your road glide.
Never.
Come
Never.
on.
No.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait. Are you paying for it?
Hey, DD, did you not see what I was screen sharing? Because he's saying that why is Reggie the only screen I see?
So it's whoever. The problem is when you share Bacon, whoever talks overwrites the screen share.
Can't you just click on their name to see their screen though?
Okay. Well, you're not sharing anymore right now, Reggie?
No, I'm not.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead.
Do we have to do this again?
I am sharing it for I gotta share it for our viewers, sir.
Yeah, if you click on Bacon's
If you
name,
shut up, let him see it. I want him to see it. That's why I'm talking right now. That beautiful, beautiful mess that's right there in front of me. Oh my God.
the front end looks unfinished.
Dude.
It looks weird. It almost looks like it's trying to kiss you.
No, you know what it looks like? You remember the Prowler car?
Oh yeah, it
looks
does
like
look
the
like
Prowler and a Road Glide had an illegitimate child.
You just made it less cool.
Yeah. It was kind of not cool at all.
The interesting part of that is it had the regular Road Glide style blinkers, and then it had two more down by the front. It's like you can't have enough blinker.
Never. You got to make sure people see you turning.
Yeah, especially me.
I don't know about I don't know about that Dana version. I almost kind of like that Dana version though.
Dana?
The Dana version.
Bacon, check the chat. Our chat.
Our chat?
Yes.
Which car chat?
No, our chat.
I'm in the chat right now. I'm talking to DD right now.
No, the other chat.
Oh, the side chat.
The super secret sidebar chat.
Oh, I'm on it.
Hey, how is it? You know, we got one person watching, but we don't have a single like. Let's get some likes in here. Whoever's watching, give us a like.
I know, DD, what's going on? All right. Can we get back on topic here real quick?
We had a topic?
We did. Yes, it was the state of the podcast address, my friend.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're all kind of in agreement. We need to do our own thing and make it our own instead of being homogenized like every other motorcycle podcast out there.
I do have an idea for a new podcast. Maybe, I don't know if you want to do this with me, but I would like to do a podcast about Loud Pipes, where we recap the episode of Loud Pipes with clips from Loud Pipes with our commentary over the top.
Louder pipes.
The first couple of seconds of that, I thought you were being serious.
Yes, it'd be like what's the Talking Dead? It'd be Louder Pipes. It's like that. I don't know if anyone watches that show anymore.
That show's still on.
No,
no, don't like that. All right.
I mean, it's funny, but no. But no, yeah. So I did just to make it our own. I want when we have our conversations, and that's kind of how we started the idea for this podcast in the first place. Like in the very first place, we just wanted it to be us, how we talk in our Twitter chat and our Hangouts chats and stuff like that. And whether it be we argue about this or that or talk about this or that, and doesn't have to do anything with motorcycles. It's just us and our views.
Well, if it's anything like the Twitter chat now, it will be a lot of dead air.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're also part of that is also opening it up to the viewers to be able to join in. You know,
I want a female co-host.
Well, I don't have one for you, sir.
That's your homework.
My homework is to find a woman.
We need a woman.
Find a woman to satisfy Reggie's desire to hear her talk.
He sounds. He sounds like Jabba the Hutt. Cha-cha, bring me woman. Like, come on.
Jabba the who?
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars.
Okay.
But really, I mean, you need to like. There may be women on there. If there's any women out there that listen to this, they're welcome on this show to come join in and join in the chat
and talk to Reggie.
Yes,
I don't want to. I just think it would help the dynamic of the show to have a women's perspective on the show. That's it.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't mind, but there are no women in our current group.
Why not?
I mean, other than Amped. But okay.
Amped's a woman? I just thought he was a snowflake.
Nah. No. But like there's no women in our group. So unless there was someone that became part of the Twitter chat that we do,
we're taking applications.
Listen, ladies, go ahead and put your applications into motonobodies@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're not weird. We won't say weird things to you.
No, nothing weird at all.
All the weird ones are gone. CB's Cruiser Bruiser's gone, so you don't have to worry about weird stuff like that anymore.
I'm still here.
I'll just have to have a talk with Mrs. Bacon.
I'm just putting it out there. I know I'm weird. She knows I'm weird. So that's not going to become as anything weird to anybody.
No surprises there.
No, none whatsoever.
I let my freak flag fly, and that's fine.
So are we still going to do these live, or are we going to not do them live?
Well, that's kind of where else I was going. I kind of really like the idea of viewer feedback. Like here we have DD giving some viewer feedback.
We have a lot of people in the chat tonight.
Oh, lots, amazingly. And DD. We had Dreadnought, but he had to leave. He was on. He's in a hotel, and so their bandwidth was not keeping up. And then we had somebody else. I have to try and find my slider here.
So if we're going to do this on here, are we going to start turning our cameras on here soon?
I want to go ahead. I want to do that. My fear for myself is bandwidth. I turn into a robot when too much bandwidth gets taken.
No, you robot?
No. But yeah, so I mean that's the one thing I fear about for mine, but that's why I also have like everything else that could take up some bandwidth off currently. So, but no, yeah, and so like any other platforms to do this, because like mainly because I want to be able to, if our levels are not correct when we record, be able to level them out correctly in post.
Well, don't we sound good now?
Well, if you listen, since you didn't listen to the last episode, there were points that I got very soft. Mm-hmm. John got very, very loud, and to have separate tracks that you can level out all together, mm-hmm. and then slam them together and put them out.
In the Google Hangouts, in the Hangout toolbox, there is a leveler.
No, you're right. You're right. But I'm talking about in post, there's a way to do it and not like in the middle of a podcast. If you happen to move away from your mic a little bit, you can't change that when it's all one recording.
Well, then I have a new suggestion then.
Don't move away from your mic.
No, let's get those. Let's get those singer performer mics that like stick on your cheek and push your cheek in.
No, okay, or not.
Yeah, no.
Well, all right. Well, then that means we can't use Hangouts.
Oh, DD, stop. You're being mean. He's saying my fear should be a cracked lens on my camera. Oh, so mean. So mean. I thought we had something special. But so yeah, so I was looking into other ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And like how we started off with doing the Skype, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still want to have kind of like I still want the live feed so that people can listen to it live and give in immediate feedback.
So why don't we record on Skype with the Google Hangouts running in the background?
But that's the thing. Once again, worried about bandwidth with that. I'm not sure how that works so well like that.
I know it eats a lot of bandwidth.
That's going to eat up tons.
Do you have a slow connection?
It's not the greatest.
He lives in the middle of nowhere.
What, like Florida?
I live in Nashville, motherfucker.
So Bacon.
Yes.
Bacon. You know, you could do what we do for a lot of pipes and use Mixler.
Okay. My other thing with that, and I do like it. I mean, it is good. But to get a broader range, I don't know, like, what's the average amount of downloads of Mixler? Like, how many people have downloaded Mixler in general?
Well,
Dave in the chat just said, what about Mixler? So that's one.
TikTok? We can go on TikTok.
So
yeah.
Isn't that where all the kids are at?
What is TikTok?
It's bullshit is what it is.
It still sounds like an old man.
Well, no. Okay, so my other idea was kind of like something like Twitch. I know it's all video game stuff mostly, but it's still a platform that a lot of people have. That's what I'm looking for. Something that people don't really have to download if they find us to get in on the live chat. It's something that could just be something that they most likely have. That's why we're here on doing the Google Hangouts over YouTube, because everyone's got YouTube.
Well, I think YouTube sucks for live streaming, though. If you're trying to grow an audience, I think you need to go somewhere else.
It's not about growing the audience so much as it is involving the audience. If you understand what I'm saying. Like, it makes it's just a simple platform for people to, because there's the chat, they can listen to it, they can just immediately communicate. And that's why I like that. But I want to do it I wanted to kind of get like an encoder so that we're not using Google Hangouts, so we can actually record all the separate tracks. If we need, so that way, if we need to level everything out, we can do that separately, put out the podcast that way.
I have an idea. What if we continue to use Google Hangouts? Because I feel like if you got an encoder, I feel like if you're complaining about bandwidth now, you'll definitely be complaining about it when you have to do it that way. And why don't we just all record our audio separately? We do the Google Hangouts and we send you all our audio.
And that was going to be my other question, is like, I wasn't certain if an encoder was like how much extra bandwidth that was going to take.
Well, if only we had somebody here who knew about computers and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
I know, right? Geez.
There's only a couple other people that might know anything.
I mean, you could probably I wonder if you can use an encoder that would broadcast from Mixler to YouTube.
Well, you don't, maybe, I don't know. That's something you have to look at. And once again, that one I was kind of chatting about earlier with the OBS. I'm not it's supposed to be over a bunch of different. You're supposed to be able to use it with a bunch of different other sites, but I'm not certain like how that would work. I would think it'd be like OBS to Mixler to YouTube, or like Mixler to OBS to YouTube. So it seems like you're just creating a daisy chain that could fail.
I feel like you're trying to make something really complicated.
Right. Because as of right now with Mixler, you're already using Skype, but then you just turn on the Mixler.
How important is having the audience participation to you?
Well, if we're going to be talking about any, depending on the topic, it could be very important. It may not be important for some of the topics, but I want the availability for people to jump in and actually, at least give their opinion.
Okay. I have a question for John, because John does loud pipes. John, can you hear me?
Yes, Reggie. What would you like to know?
Okay. Do you guys do broadcasts live your podcast, right?
Correct.
Okay. How much audience participation do you take from the audience? You don't take any, do you? Really?
It is very little, and most of it is from our supporters.
Okay.
But that's
we have very few, and this is the goal that Rich was trying to do, is to try to get listeners to participate and try to get people to interact with it. It's been very slow going. Is it because of Mixler? I don't know if that's the issue. I mean, Dangerous Dave gets notifications when we start to stream. He gets the update, and away it goes. There is cost behind Mixler, so that's something you got to look at. You can do a free version, but you get 1 hour per day. That is it.
So you start at 11.
So the paid version, well, I don't know what time it flips. It's kind of, I'm not sure where the server is. It flips someplace. I'm not sure where. Then the paid version, you get 3 hours a day. I see Bacon's point of trying to get it. What platform to do it is, I don't know.
Well, and that's my whole thing. Like, I want it, like I said, I want it as simple as possible, so that you're not trying to get listeners to get this app or this app that might end up crashing at some point. Like, they may cut it. This is like YouTube is big enough that, it's not really going to fail unless everything fails.
All right, then. I'm going to suggest, if we want to do this, like, stream it, I think Twitch is a better place to stream it. Twitch has a whole section where they have in real life streams, and there's radio shows that stream on Twitch, and other podcasts that stream directly to Twitch. That's where I would say stream there, and then once the stream is done, you could download it and post it on YouTube.
Well, and that's exactly what I was saying. Like, is there, like, why not? Like, is there another platform?
The only issue I have with doing the stream live all the time is the off chance that you or John will not be available on that day to do it. If we were recording it, then we'd have the ability to move the schedule around, still record the podcast. As someone who listens to a lot of podcasts, every single podcast I listen to except one is live, and I've never listened to any of them live. And they have audience participation and everything, and I have no desire. I'm like, nope, I'll listen to it when I want to listen to it. But that's me. I mean, other people might like to listen to stuff live, but I've gotten used to the point of the DVR culture of, I watch something or listen to something when I want to watch or listen to it, not when it's live.
Well, and that's fine. That's why we also put out the podcast. But we have the live stream for those that might actually want to join in. And part of that would also be like the promoting of the upcoming show, saying, hey, we're going to start off talking about this with this person, and come join in the chat if you want to. blah, blah, blah. And we move on from there. But it's not going to be, if you're somebody who just wants to listen, that's fine. That's why there's the podcast. It's out there on all the podcasting streams, right? You have it on Stitcher. You have it on iTunes. You have it on Google Podcasts. You have it on all those, right? So you don't have to sit there and wait for, be there for the live stream.
I'm just saying it's a huge commitment because once you get people used to being there at a certain time, you have to commit to it.
I agree with Reggie 100%.
Well, maybe.
No, baby.
No, there is no maybe.
Okay, let me go back and ask the bear question.
I'm not getting against that. Stop.
Bacon,
I'm not going against you.
I have a question for you.
Give me a second. What if we did it so we do 2 podcasts a month, right? Every other week. What if we did it like the second podcast of the month, so the latest one of the month? Then it's only one time live streaming. It doesn't, like I said, there's ways to format this that we can do it and mold around and do it however we want to.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I used to do Hangouts on my channel, it started to build steam when I was really consistent about having it every Friday at a specific time. People expect it. And the second you start to miss one here or there, people fall off. I think for what you want, it's more important to record a good audio quality sounding podcast and release that on time all the time and build an actual audience that yearns and wants to have a live show and then consider doing the live show. I feel like we're trying to do too many things all at once. That's my opinion.
Let me back up and ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question for you, Bacon.
I'm waiting.
What is your goal and what you want to see out of this podcast? What do you want in the end game?
My end game is okay, so Reggie and I were talking about this on Sunday night. And my goal really is I want people to look at bikers in a completely different setting than I'm just talking about bikes or I just went on this ride and that's it. Right? Like there's so much more to bikers than that. Right? We have our opinions, we have our views, we have a whole bunch more than that. And that's why I'm looking at, even if we only do it once a month, yes, listen, if we do a live stream once a month, that's one set day, right? Be like the 3rd Friday in a month or 4th Friday in a month, something like that, right? Or 4th Tuesday, doesn't matter. But it's one time a month that it's live where anybody and everybody can join in. And the idea of that is you don't have to switch off to something new to build your people. You already have it there. So as you're building listeners, it's already there. You're not trying to focus them onto something new. It's something you're already doing. That way you're not changing up anything. They're not changing up anything. It's just there.
I don't think you answered his question.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
How did I not? Because that's what I want to do. I want people to see people as.
Okay, let me ask a better question. Do you look at this as a hobby, or do you want it to grow to hundreds of thousands of people?
I want it to be what it is, plain and simple. I want to. No. Stop. If you're trying to have this goal that I have to do this, then then if you don't get it by a certain time, you're going to feel like you failed.
No, that's
and
not
that happens.
No.
That happens for too many people and far too often.
No, that's not what I'm
all I
trying.
want it to do is, you know what? I want us to be able to talk. If somebody wants to come in and talk with us, I want them to be able to do that. I'm not if we grow, the more we are just ourselves and just do it as we do it, just to be us, that's the biggest thing for me, right? Because after that, when you are as real as you can be, the listeners are going to come. They'll be there. But you have to be that, and other than that is the other part of that is consistency, of course.
Okay,
You know,
so I will go with the first thing, and Reggie is on board. I don't think you're focused on live stream. I think that should be a minute thing, and I know Dangerous Dave listens to All Pipes Live. I know he listens to us live, which is awesome, and thank you, Dave. I'm not following it on YouTube, but anyways, the bigger key is you need to have the date and time of the release, the key. Reggie is on board, because if somebody sees that every 2 weeks, Motonobodies is going to release, I can check my podcast app on Wednesday morning every 2 weeks. I'm going to have a new episode. It's going to be sitting there. They're going to look for it. If you start skipping and you stop not seeing it, they're going to not notice it. That's most of people's consistency. They're going to forget about
it. And you are right. And you know what? I meant to have this last podcast out last Tuesday, but I had a lot of stuff going on with work and whatnot, considering I'm taking a new position, that that cutting it took a lot longer than I wanted to, because when I got home, it was a lot of other stuff.
And I will go with the fact that Bacon, I do have to agree that I think you're hampering yourself with Google Hangout and cutting audio. It's cut and dry. If your plan is just, if you don't care about the audio and how it's been recorded and try to fix it, then you're done. You're limited. And
right. No. And that's one of the things I definitely hate about Google Hangouts. Like, I want to be able to do it over Slack. That way we have the multiple tracks to at least at the very minimum level out audio. Right? At least fix that part of it, so you're not going from somebody who's really hot to somebody who's not. But in terms of consistency, I try to make it every couple weeks and be done with it. Like we just released episode 4 today, right? I like to try and record on the day that we released. That way we know, that way you keep that, at least that little bit of span there.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, this is why I wanted to talk about it. This is why I put it out here, that I wanted to make it something that we actually chat about. And if people want to give us feedback about it, we have our email at motonobodies@gmail.com. You can do it on iTunes. I mean, any place that feedback that you have for your podcast, where you listen to your podcast to give feedback, please do. This is something that is actually important to me, because I didn't get into doing this podcast just to be like, blah, it's just something to do. Like, I thought it was something that we could like share with the world, of like just our fun of what we do and just our minds, because everyone has their own opinions. Why not? That's where I've been with it. And it kind of caught it, I'm sure people have been able to hear it in the past 4 episodes. Like, it just, you could hear kind of almost a staleness in the podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to make sure we got this done, because I need to make sure that everyone understands that, hey, we're trying to build this out.
John? Hello, John.
Yes.
We wake over there? Did we lose you?
No, we lost him.
I'm here.
Okay. So I mean, it's all what you want to do. And I think that it's Motonobodies. I think you should go. I know Amp's thing was make it about the daily chats, and I kind of think do off topics, do something else. John, hey, do a review of some Xbox game. I know I Xbox as well, and it's kind of something new. But I will tell you, go get Far Cry 5. Don't get New Dawn.
I'm stuck on the Division 2 right now.
I haven't downloaded it yet. I bought around Christmas time. I built a new PC and I got a video card that came with Resident Evil 2 and the Division 2 for free.
Nice.
I just haven't downloaded it. I got the reward yet. So how is Division 2?
It's great if you have a clan to play with or a group. Not so great single player.
Oh, well, guess I won't be playing it then.
I'll pass on that too.
Well,
I mean, unless you enjoy dying as much as you would if you played Dark Souls.
So in other words, it's all PvP stuff?
No, not PvP. It's you play basically just a regular campaign. It's just multiplayer. Like you're playing against the computer essentially. But you can easily be overwhelmed in like a big shootout or something, and it's really hard to control that environment if it's just you by yourself. And
okay.
So unless you find a group to play with or have friends that play, you're gonna die a lot.
All right. Well,
you're gonna die. Just get used to
I know the wife plays gaming, and I know I got it for my PC. I'm not sure if I can go PC across to an Xbox.
I don't believe so. I don't think it's going to be a cross-play game.
Okay.
But you're welcome to buy it on Xbox, and I'll play with you.
And buy an Xbox. And
I have an Xbox.
He already has an Xbox.
Oh.
And
I'm the one that doesn't.
No, he has an Xbox, and he's never added me on Xbox.
And I don't.
I'm sorry.
An Xbox.
Amp added me like a year ago.
He still hasn't played with you.
Well,
if I had an Xbox, John, I would play the Division with you. So I was actually interested in playing it because I was a big Destiny 1 guy.
Mm.
And then Destiny got really bad, and I just stopped even. I have 2 PlayStation 4s for Destiny, and I don't even play at all.
I remember the Destiny days. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I didn't even want to play it.
Destiny 2 is horrible. I mean, the end of Destiny 1 was getting pretty bad. They ruined that game, but it's a different story for another day.
So, John, I'll try to remember to add you.
Okay.
No. And when you get ready to go buy Far Cry 5, let me know, and I'll join up with you. And it's really interesting because with Far Cry 5, the good point and bad part is I can join you, and I can bring all my high level guy in there with all my guns and everything. So it makes it really easy for you. The bad part is it's good for you is with Far Cry 5, whoever hosts gets the rewards or the completing of the missions. But since I've completed the game, I don't care. See, the wife and I would play, so we actually played it twice through. So that she got all the rewards and I got all the rewards. New Dawn is kind of a letdown. The reason they kind of made it cheaper than a new game is they actually was able to use the same map that they use for 5 and just re-layer it. And they kind of changed some of the how you got stuff and rewards. But the cool thing on it was that since my character was more advanced, Nelly could come into my game as a co-op player or gun for hire. And even though she was at a lower level, she could get and make, because you had to craft your guns, she could craft high-level guns and then go back to her game with these high-level guns.
Nice. Cheating.
So it's like you have elite. There's like 4 tiers: 1, 2, 3, and elite. So she's coming and get elite gun, go back down to her low levels and take out people with low guns and just kill them. So, yeah.
Right on.
And then the sad part is New Dawn came out at $40 for the game. Now I saw some ad that the game's now $20.
Yeah.
It's like,
So you mean like every car, motorcycle, everything outside of houses?
I mean, if you want a really good deal on games, just go buy used ones at GameStop. Because you have I think it's a 7-day return. If you don't like it.
Go play it, win it, and be done with it.
I would not endorse that, but you at least can return it if you don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode has kind of run its course for now. There's a lot of stuff for us to still consider and talk about in the background, but I'm glad that viewers are able to at least get a little insight into the background and where we're trying to go and where we're trying to head. So I guess if they want to have any feedback, once again, motonobodies@gmail.com, or of course, any feedback on your local podcasting, your favorite podcasting app. So apart from that, last words, Johnny John.
it's been a fun evening, been interesting, and it's been great hanging out again. And I'll see you guys, I don't know.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, Bacon, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, which is
not
what?
Able to do 2 weeks?
Which is what? The
It's going to be the 8th. No. Wait. Nope.
The 9th. No, Bacon, I cannot do that.
You can't do the 9th.
No. I might be at your house though.
Ooh. Well, you're welcome to come by anytime you like.
Okay.
So, well, cool. Let's go. JJ.
What's up?
Last words.
Last words. It's Tuesday. Get some tacos.
Get some tacos. All right, and Reggie, you got any last words, sir?
Yes. You don't win friends with salad.
You do with tacos.
That's right. Don't ever try to make friends by offering them to go get salad.
Well, awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody that was in the chat. Thank you guys for joining in, and I guess coming up April 9th will be our next time that we start recording. We may do it a week early just to kind of get it done, but that may be off. That may just be offline. So, but until then, don't forget motonobodies@gmail.com, your favorite podcasting app. Give us some feedback. We'd like to know what you think. So until next time, I'd like to bid you all, vaya con Dios.